Good day and welcome to a Hat Chat podcast. What a delightful little fingle that was.
Wasn't it just?
It was like it's almost like a
family
70s, 80s kind of kids show, isn't it?
Welcome
I
to
liked it.
Supermarket Sweep Challenge.
That was Matthias Bjornstad.
Bjornstad.
But who are we?
Bjorn. I'm Ross Hornby.
It's not
Bjornstad.
Yeah.
Bjornstad.
Bjornstad. Like a fucking idiot.
Oh, sorry.
And what's your name there?
Chris Trott.
Mine's Bjorn.
Bjorn
Smith.
It's Alex.
Bjorn Stormlord.
Alex Smith.
Nice.
Esquire.
I found it funny the other day that we have
Did you introduce yourself?
Yeah, you did,
I did
yeah.
actually.
He
Just
was the
before you
first.
guys. I rushed into it. I was like, yeah, I'm Ross Hornby. Fuck off. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Sorry, I missed it.
Smith.
Yes.
Talking of your surname, we have a guest list for our tour.
Yes.
And you literally requested, can you just put,
four people with the name Smith.
Yeah.
Just the surname. So
I don't know who's turning up, so just put Smith down. It's like, well, everyone's going to get him for free now.
Well, I did also suggest
very common name.
An elaborate passcode system with the
Yeah.
doormen, where
that could work.
if they speak a special word, they can get in.
Yeah.
And wear certain attire and have a certain tattoo.
Yeah.
An Elvish language, maybe like
Yeah.
an Elvish word.
Well, this is why I said like melon.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't use that now.
Can't use that now.
That's changed. We've got to change it.
We've gotta
We'll
put
change it by the hour just to make sure we're like secure.
Also, we need an uppercase and a symbol in there.
You do.
And a number.
And no
Wingdings.
numbers.
It's a wingdings word.
Tower, plane,
Batman symbol.
Batman symbol,
Copyright symbol, and
ice cream.
Ice creams.
So, it's been a while since we've done a hat chat.
It has been a few
Apologies
weeks
for that.
So sorry about that. We've had all sorts of other things. I mean, Smith went to Kenya.
Yeah.
You've moved house.
I've moved house.
And various other things.
Without my knowing.
Mm-hmm.
I suddenly woke up and boom, I'm in somewhere else. I don't know where I am.
What the fuck's happened, guys? I can't do the podcast. I've bloody moved.
If only moving house was that simple, eh?
Oh, yeah.
I wish. But I'm not going to do a podcast on what it's like to move house because that sounds boring. However, we can talk about your escapades in Kenya.
So I moved house to Kenya.
Finally, he's moved to Kenya.
I woke
Big
up
dream.
one day in Kenya.
Big city.
And I went, where am I? And a man came over to me and picked me up and said, you're in Africa.
He shook you.
Can you believe it?
Fuck me.
Heard that one before. Can you dig it?
Yeah, so I went over to Kenya. Flew into Nairobi.
Is that how you are meant to
go to Kenya.
Haven't been there now.
Went to the tea fields in Kenya. Check everything's good. Then I went to Nairobi for my friend's wedding. He lives there. He's from Somerset. Known him since I was about 4 years old. And so to go over there and see him in a funny setting was quite interesting, obviously.
Funny setting?
Well, it's quite
like a comedy.
It's strange to think that
complete cultural difference.
Yeah, this person who grew up in like literally the smallest, sleepiest. He lives in a hamlet in Somerset,
right?
Which
I've been
was
to his
like
house, yeah.
literally a row of houses in the countryside. Yeah. That's it.
With his French mum.
With his half French, he's half French, so his mum's French. She's very animated,
energetic.
Yeah.
I feel like is there a joke in there somewhere?
No,
she's very French, very expressive. She kept speaking to me in French during the holiday because there were quite a few other French speakers around me. She just kept forgetting that she was speaking in French, and so she'd just talk to me.
Did you just look at her blankly and go,
"Bonjour"?
Oui, oui, mon ami. It was very fun, and Kenya in general was a very eye-opening place. I thought that I was an experienced traveller before I went to Africa, and now I feel like I'm experienced in travelling in the West and nothing else. But yeah, God, it was crazy place. Yeah, I mean,
where would you begin? Where did you begin? Like, I don't even know. Like, I mean, how long were you there for? 10 days? Was it 10 days?
About
a little less than 10 days?
A little less than, about 10 days.
We were holding the fort.
Felt like a while. Felt like a long time. Like when I was there,
it did for us too.
Did it?
Yeah.
You were pining.
When's
it was just sitting at home, just watching the news, which is not fun to do. Not
hard
currently.
To finish, isn't it?
See,
it's hard to finish to some of these stories. Yeah.
There was none of that. Well, I mean, like there wasn't much.
Yeah, you were if anything, you were free of social media and stuff as much.
Yeah. Also,
you had the internet.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I did.
You came back with this almost like different moral to life of like, honestly, with social media for 2 weeks was bliss.
It was.
I feel so much better.
It was really, really good.
Well, that's where the famous phrase "ignorance is bliss."
Yeah,
and not looking at those things is probably quite healthy sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're back on it now.
Yeah.
So you feel miserable again.
Yeah.
Back to it.
Pretty much.
Back
But you kind of
plugged
have to
back
keep
in.
up to date.
Like
considering
the day before I came back, I sort of almost had like an epiphany moment where I'm just like,
this is it.
wow, things are like not too bad. And then like you get back and you're like, wait. Also, Kenya is a very like the divide between rich and poor is still really great. And so like, you know,
Great as in good or
Huge.
as in large. Between, yeah, right.
large.
I love
Okay,
how
not just like, I felt like a king in that country.
I mean, you can,
sure,
but it's a real
yeah.
dangerous prospect. In
throwing
like,
around your Kenyan shillings.
Yeah, like, well, you know,
This means nothing to me.
we hired a chef.
Did you tip extra every now and then? Just say, fuck it, I'm a king.
Yeah, but then even tipping extra isn't very much. Like, certain things are really expensive. So, for example,
Yeah.
supermarkets are like the same price in Nairobi as they are here.
Okay.
Right? So, like, it's not cheap shopping in a supermarket, really.
Right.
But like the vast amount of Kenyans, or people who live in Nairobi at least, don't shop in supermarkets. They shop off the side of the street. So you get all these like huts with people selling like fruit and meat and God knows what else, and that's just where they shop. But you don't shop there when you're obviously when you visit.
Such as shops for the rich and wealthy,
Yeah.
and then shops for
And
those that
everyone
are
lives
not.
behind walls, or at least most of the people I met. In terms of if you're my friend's white, and he works for a company that basically works on deforestation projects in Kenya. So, well, actually in Africa, not just in Kenya. So he does stuff where he coordinates UN money and
Right.
tries to educate the locals into how to maintain forests and stuff like that, and like keep trees growing and stop doing this and do this and all that sort of stuff. But like him and like all the other people that do that, they're all similar age. They're all in their sort of late 20s, early 30s. They're from lots of different places, mainly French, because that's kind of who he hangs out with, because he's half French. And they all live in these like walled palaces. So like you can get big old houses there. Like so, and the UN, if you work for the UN, like quite a few of them do. So the UN has their headquarters in Nairobi for Africa, and so the UN pays for their houses. So you know they're a couple of grand a month. The UN will just pay for it.
My God.
Yeah, a couple of grand a month, and that'll get you a 6-bedroom house with gigantic walls, barbed wire all around the outside of it, huge garden, acres of garden.
See, I struggle to pick paint for like my main bedroom.
Yeah.
Let alone thinking about the other 5 I'd need to consider.
Yeah.
Like what do I
Well,
do?
you don't really decorate it because they're renting them.
Right.
Yeah,
So
that's
like
what it
is.
it's all rented, like in a way. But like land value in Nairobi is really expensive. It's like 100 grand to buy a plot of land there. Like
Right, okay.
it's not cheaper. It's
Right.
the same as here, you know,
Gotcha.
and that's for like a quarter acre.
There's a main city, so you'd expect it to be somewhat not necessarily the cheapest, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Like yeah,
Because if you went further out, I'm sure, it'd be much cheaper.
it
elsewhere.
would be
It's like a
cheaper,
city, yeah.
but then the roads are so bad that you're not as well connected. The roads have
If it's
holes
anything
in
like,
them.
yeah, it's terrifying.
Yeah. So it's different. It's very, very different to how Europe is set up.
Well, did you explain that you've been to Kenya?
I've been to Kenya,
'cause just
but
to
this was
clarify,
like
I've not
12
been,
years
so I
ago,
don't- yeah.
and Smith, from what Smith's telling me, drastically different. And
Well, in 10 years, Kenya and Africa, certain parts of Africa have developed massively.
Yeah.
Like really crazy fast. There's a really good, in a nutshell, Kurt Sagat video about Africa, which is worth watching, which explains it a bit. But yeah, I mean, yeah, when you were there, there's still a lot of what you saw, definitely. I think it's just a strange experience, but it's also an amazing country, like absolutely amazing. Like it's like a garden. Like I was there during like just at the end of, well, it's the start of the dry season, but they were still getting quite a lot of rain because of climate change, just the soil and the rain and the temperature and the climate means that things just grow like absolute crazy. You wouldn't believe how fertile it is. There's just everything's green. There's things, plants blowing out of everywhere, and there's all sorts of insects and things and animals and monkeys in the trees. I saw a locust this big. One of the locusts that's part of the plague.
Holy shit! That's about 6 inches for anyone listening.
Yeah. So I mean, the biggest locust I've ever seen. I wanted to try and pick it up, but it was terrifying because like the force of its jump was like you could hear it. You could hear it sort of go
It's
like,
still-
send ripples.
oh my god!
you can hear it flexing its muscles.
And there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of these fucking things flying across it.
my God.
I can see why a plague is
Shit.
such an issue.
I saw in Iran there's like 800,000. Like I don't know if it was locusts. It was a similar bug flying through.
Yeah,
where
that'll
they
be
just,
locusts.
Yeah, it must be locusts. Yeah, it must be locusts.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah,
looked
when we see
literally just
movies of like
horrible.
the plague of locusts,
Yeah.
we consider like,
Yeah.
it's like those little ones, isn't it?
No,
Big fuckers.
these fuckers are gigantic and terrifying. Like really, really big.
Jeez. Do they carry diseases?
No, not really.
Right.
No.
They are diseases.
Yeah.
They're big enough to be one
Apparently,
themselves.
they've been flying in groups of ducks to eat the locusts. They
Oh,
fly them in an
and the
aircraft,
yeah, you
and
used
then
to
they
saying.
release the ducks to eat them. I mean, they must be
What a
feasting.
process, yeah.
Some funny stuff that happened.
Yeah.
So, when I was down at the coast, so I went down to the Kenyan coastline, a place called Watamu, and we were staying in this amazing villa. Amazing. $15 a day to hire a chef. Right,
That's
like this is the
incredible. Like Jesus Christ,
and that's expensive.
If I could do that, I would.
Do it all the time.
$15 a day.
Yeah, so that's like 12 quid.
I mean,
I can make you a huel.
sometimes delivery costs that much, and it's just
Yeah.
like, wow, if you can have a chef,
Yeah.
yeah.
excellent.
Fresh
That's
food.
And you just give them a bit of money. They go to the market, get everything for you. We were eating red snapper, which is like one of the most delicious fish in the world. Like big old red thing about this big. They would just go down to the market, get it for like 7 quid. That would feed 6 people.
Man.
Amazingly well. It was like an absolute feast. We
God,
had it like
love those snappers.
we had it like 2 or 3 times because everyone just liked it so much. Like that's the kind of thing. And then like a cleaner or a maid. Like this is so some of the people I was talking to there who I got to know, and they were telling me about their lives there, and I'm like, because the thing is, there's always like every Kenyan I interacted with was lovely and really nice people, really genuine people, all that sort of stuff. But there's this undercurrent in Nairobi of violence and crime, right? So the reason everyone lives in giant compounds was quite a few years ago now, it used to be a very unsafe place. Now it's a fairly safe place, but still considered, you don't walk out at night. You don't walk around on your own at night, for example. And one of my friends was saying like, oh yeah, I mean, you've always got to consider the fact that people could climb over that wall, couple of AKs, beat the shit out of me, rob me. They knew somebody who'd been held at machete point and robbed in their own home. So, and like a lot of the homes are designed to be sort of almost like castles, as in they're all metal structures and stuff like that. Like,
do you think it's because of that disparity of wealth?
Yeah.
That it's almost a mockery to those that are struggling, and therefore they feel like they can, or like are
I don't think it's
reduced to doing that.
It's desperation, definitely. Because people coming in from the villages and things like that all around the outside of Nairobi, coming in and not having any skills to work in the high-paid jobs. So now they're competing in a city environment at city prices without the income to do it. So yeah, you get people, home invasions, all the time.
It was like, it's weird how Nairobi, when I was there at least, you had these sprawling slums of like the corrugated roofing, and just it was horrible to look at, obviously, to live in those conditions. And then literally right next to it, like up to its wall, like a amazing mansion, or like a apartment block that's like pristine, brand new, walled off, and they're literally like bordering on the edge of each other, so you can see why it's literally like towering over you.
Does the wall
every
become a
single
target,
day.
do you think? If you see a walled place, you're like, well, that's obviously wealth in there. Or is it a walled community?
No, the
sometimes
walls
you get walled
around.
communities.
You do,
or
yeah.
am I thinking of like
these,
South Africa? I'm
no,
not sure.
you're right. There are some places that have a general wall around them. No, this was just around buildings, houses mainly.
Yeah, okay.
But like I was saying, like there is that inherent risk, and personally, I prefer the way we live to having to worry about the fact that do I trust the guy on the gate to make sure that he keeps us safe tonight, that sort of thing. But I was saying like why do you guys do it? Like obviously it's a beautiful country, obviously it's things you're doing here, I get that, but like ultimately for me, if I made that like value choice between living in a place where I need to have walls, where I need to have barbed wire, where I need to have to worry about who I'm hiring and whether or not they'll betray me, why do you do it? And they're like, well, I haven't washed or folded my clothes in 2 years. Like
well, they get paid well as well, right?
Well,
it's
they,
like a
they
risk
get paid pretty
reward.
well, better than they would doing the same job here, but not.
But they're not even spending money, more money than
exactly. Their rent's getting paid, but I mean, like things like it's just the fact that they have servants essentially. It's like, I mean, they pay them, but like a maid or whatever gets paid like $5-10 a day. They'll do all your washing, all your ironing, pack it all away for you, and they're like, we don't have to think about it. All we have to worry about is going to work, doing our job, and then having fun, and like that's pretty much it. All the day-to-day stuff you can pay somebody to do it. And that's basically where the appeal comes from.
Well, also the rewarding element of I guess they're helping the deforestation stuff, which is probably quite a good thing in terms of they're making an impact, they're helping a good cause,
some impact.
and they're making money as well, which sounds appealing in that sense. Obviously, the risk is.
I think you're
quite
presuming
high.
that. None of them said that.
Oh, they're not.
No, like
Oh,
basically.
right. I thought you said that they were doing all right.
What? Money wise?
Yeah.
Oh, they're doing all right money wise. They don't necessarily feel like they're making an impact.
Oh, okay.
Because Africa is such a large place and so fraught with government issues that
Just red tape everywhere.
Yeah, whilst they're trying to do things, it's often not as effective, and it does frustrate them because of that.
What was on the music charts when you were out there?
Oh my god! Yeah,
Oh, God.
So funnier stuff. So we stopped at a service station on the way. A service station again. We were on the road on Mombasa Road to a safari park. So it's like a 5-hour drive out of Nairobi, and we stopped in a services. And I was really hungry. You know, like I always am. I'm always fucking hungry.
It's hungry boy.
A grown boy. And we stopped at a station and we were getting fuel. And I was like, guys, I'm really hungry. And they're like, yeah, we should probably get something to eat because we don't know where the next petrol station is. So we went into like a petrol station restaurant.
Nice. Classy. They're good here, so why not there?
Exactly. Imagine ours, but worse. So
it's kind of hard to imagine.
So we go into this like building, just literally a freestanding building next to the petrol station, and there's like a kitchen in the back of it. It's fucking hot as shit. There's a TV playing that's got like a crack right down the middle of it, and there are lots of different people there eating because it's a transit road, so you know lots of different kind of people. So we ordered some quite nice things actually. Chapati, which you know is like you can get it at Indians here, like little bit of bread, really nice chapati. I love it. And like a bean stew, so like there's like African style food can be, well, at least what I had was quite, you know, stews and things like that. So we had this bean stew and we're dipping it in. It was pretty good, and like 5 of us ate there, and it was £3. So like stuff like that.
Was this before or after you had the shits? Because
This is after I had the shits.
Okay.
So anyway, we were watching this. They had this show going on, and I was just like, oh my god, what is this? And it was like. Well, like it's so hard to describe, but like it was called it was called Mother-in-Law was the name of it.
Oh, what, like a soap?
Yeah.
Right,
It's a mother-in-law, but like it was narrated by somebody with an English or an American accent, and it was like the mother-in-law. She sees all, and it's just this like woman,
God's
like
sake.
you know, very in Kenya they would call them a mama, you know, like basically like a heavy set woman, older, like sort of thing. She'd be like, oh, I know what you're up to. And then like this other guy would come in and be like, and like all the shots are slightly too long. Is this it, mother-in-law?
Yeah, I think
this
a promo for
Can
Mother-in-Law.
we watch it?
Holy shit, this is great. So I'm guessing this is like a...
You know what I'm asking.
Supplies.
Pretty good super
camera
of like
This
an
looks-
EastEnders. This looks quite high, like not as bad as...
At Mwamba's house.
I see you two are busy. I'll be on my way.
Sister
This looks better than what I saw.
Get into the car.
Aliyetaka wapi? Ni wa huko kwenu. Tuambie mlimpeleka wapi?
You should be careful putting ideas
That was
in your
her.
head.
That was the mother-in-law.
Oh, okay.
Twists to every story.
What is the relationship between you and Charlie?
How is that any of your business?
What is going on between you two?
It looks like a student film. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's got
yeah,
that
yeah.
student film touch to it.
This is-
There's something...
I'm impressed with the
Not
camera
quite.
quality though, because
Yeah, the
I've
camera
seen
quality is
some
there.
stuff.
Actually, the camera quality is not too bad.
Yeah.
But it does still have that kind of amateur student feel to it, where it's
Yeah.
like the camera's not quite in the right angle.
The editing's
for the
not
shot,
good.
editing's
The
not there.
acting's pretty
But,
naff.
And you
know,
got to bear in mind that
Sure.
I was probably watching one from about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
On repeat.
Um,
yeah.
But yeah, like, oh man, it was funny. And I was just watching it, like, couldn't look away. I was like, this is amazing. And that's the only bit of TV I watched the whole time, was in this
Right,
service
yeah.
station. And I was just like eating my chapati. And yeah, and anyway, we went to the safari place, saw some animals. It was amazing. We had the whole place to ourselves. It was absolutely mad. My friend has a big 4x4.
How close were the animals? Like, isn't like...
Close.
Or you,
well,
like,
you have to stick. You should be sticking to a track
Yeah.
thing. But they
Yeah.
get pretty close. But yeah, I was like leaning out the top of it. I was like in the top of this truck, and he'd taken the top off of it for me. And I was like, oh, it's amazing, safari, looking around, like, you know, like Mount Kilimanjaro's in the background, and we were like right by it, like saw it, was like, whoa, this is nuts, the sun's out, and all this sort of stuff, and then zip, I get hit in the fucking face by something, and I'm like, what's that? And ow, it bit me, and I was just like, I looked down to my friend Jean, who's like down in the driver's seat, and I'm like, I just got hit in the face by something. Something just bit my face. He's like, oh, you better hope that wasn't the Nairobi Eye or the Nairobi Fly, as we call it. And I was like, why? What's that? He's like, if you flick it off too quickly, it spits acid all over you. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, a couple of my friends have had it.
Christ.
And yeah,
in any other circumstance, I would have thought he was just taking the piss, like winding you up because it's like you're in a new country or whatever.
Yeah.
Those
Oh,
boys.
Jesus! There's a picture
So
of them. They're like
if you look
black
at
and
that
red.
person's neck.
Oh, they're like
there.
weird little.
I
Black
like
and
how they
red
have alternating
earwig
colours. It's quite.
creatures.
Looks like a little
See, yeah,
jelly.
this is, I mean, I wish he told me they didn't have wings because then I wouldn't have been so paranoid. Anyway, the little fly can inflict some serious pain. Yeah, so it can like burn you basically,
Right.
and if left on your skin for a while, it can give you real bad burns. And it was like right here on my cheekbone. So I was like, shit, like that could. I don't want to ruin this beautiful face. And so after about half a day of rolling around safari, I was like, oh right, yeah, we'll get back. We got back to our camp and I got some water. I'm like, right, better wash that area. Like it doesn't seem too bad. So I took my glasses or shades off or whatever. Like got some water and then like properly like washed it and everything all around here. I was like, cool, and then putting the glasses back on. And I was using glasses, not sunglasses at the time because I was using binoculars, so I wanted a sharp image.
Yeah.
And we go back out, rolling around like, oh, great, and back out there again. I'm a safari.
Tourist.
No, come home. And we're like, chill out for the evening, really cool, have a fire and everything. Worry about whether we're going to get murdered by crocodiles, baboons, or hippos, or all three at the same time.
Fantastic!
Classic.
What a mix!
Who knows?
One day they're going to team up.
Orgy of pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I had this like one man tent that my friend lent me that it wasn't long enough for me.
Right,
so I
okay.
was like in it with my legs curled up like this. But they were very nice. They supplied a lot of stuff for me. They were really great. I had like a thermarest bed and things. It was like,
Oh.
yeah, they did a good job. They were very kind. And next day I get up and I'm like, oh fucking hell, what's wrong with my eye? Oh god, what's happened? It's all sore. And I get out and I get my phone out and flip it around and look at it and I'm like, oh shit. And it was all red, like under here, like quite swollen. And I go out and I go to my friend. I'm like, mate, who's sleeping in the back of his car. I'm like, mate, my eye. Has it happened? Have I been burnt? And he's like, I thought I'd been like acid burned by this fucking bug. And he's like, nah, it doesn't look like what they normally look like. Don't know what that is, mate. It looks like you've just been rubbing it. I'm like, I don't get this red just by rubbing my eye. Like, what? And he's like, it does. It just looks like you've been rubbing it. Chill out. And anyway, about a day or two later, I realised I've been applying a lot of sunscreen whilst I've been in Africa because the sun is super intense. Like, half an hour is enough to burn you quite badly.
Is it quite dry as well?
No, it's a really pleasant climate.
Oh, okay.
It's humid enough. It's not too dry. It's just the sun is very, very intense. And what had happened was when I'd washed my face in panic because I thought I'd been bitten by the bug, that whole area is just I'd taken all the sunscreen off. And then we'd just gone out for another day and I just cooked that part of my eye. And so it was just sunburn. And now I've still got a slight darkening, but it's not so bad anymore.
As I was going to say, it's gone quite quickly.
Yeah, under my eye because I've been moisturising.
I still have tan lines from that trip.
Seriously?
Yeah, I still have. There's a clean
Oh,
definition
it's a
between
serious burn though.
back in.
When we went kayaking.
Yeah, it's still
see
kind
it
of there.
slight.
Yeah.
But that's
And
Yeah.
you got
my
so
milky
burnt.
skin was just not
That's from
couldn't
LA.
cope with that.
Unreal.
So yeah.
Unreal.
Oh look, there's various pictures of us with sunburns. Look, it's
Not the,
Smith
not
there
the most
previously.
recent.
I don't know if we took I didn't post a still picture of mine, but it was in one of the videos from.
You guys have been seriously burnt. I've never been burnt like you guys have.
No.
Been pretty lucky.
I got ants all over my feet at one point as well.
Oh, okay.
So
What
fresh
kind of
off the
ants?
flight, we went for a walk in so Nairobi's got like a couple of national forests just right in the middle of it. Like they're unbelievable. You wouldn't believe it. But it's like Hyde Park to shame. But
Hyde Park.
You know how London has parks
Sure.
in it as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
So
yeah.
does like New York. This is like a proper forest in the middle of
Okay.
this place is like monkeys in it. Like they think there might even be leopards in there as
Wow.
well.
Shit. No way.
But we go for a walk and my friend Jars takes me out. We're walking his dogs and for some reason, I can't remember why, but for some reason I went on this walk with I've got these like Merrell sandals that are like got a proper good hiking sole on them and stuff, but they're like open toe sandals. And I was like, I'll wear some socks as well. I don't know why. I just come off the plane. So
Socks and sandals is a classic look.
it is a classic, very comfortable.
Yeah.
And so we were walking for a while and taking the dogs, going through all these like forest trails and stuff. And then some other dogs were coming the other way. So we sort of held the dogs to the side and stopped for a bit. What I hadn't realised is I'd stood directly into like an ant nest, right? And so we were walking along for a bit and I was like, oh, fuck, my foot. I thought I'd stood on like a bramble or something.
Oh,
I looked
really?
down and there must have been 20, 30 soldier ants about this large, just desperately trying to bite through my sock, right? And, just like, I look down and I'm just like, oh, fuck. Like my sort of beige-coloured sock was just covered in these big angry ants. And I was like, hold on a sec, mate, my foot is covered in ants. And I'm like, first day there.
They didn't get to you, though. The socks were a good idea.
I could feel it, but it wasn't like, like, ow. It was just like,
cut,
I was pulling the bastards off of the sock, and the sock's like, I'm just like, get off my foot, you little fucks. And,
shit.
Soldier ants.
Yeah, but yeah, pretty funny.
Did you hear that ants passed the mirror recognition test?
Yeah, I read that yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, they can recognize themselves.
What is it? Explain the mirror recognition test.
So it's like a sign of intelligence, but intelligence is a spurious subject anyway. But they basically put an animal in front of it and see if they recognize it as just another animal or as themselves. And they start doing things to be like, oh no, I recognize that this is me. Like waving their hands, because they all got hands, didn't they?
Yeah, little tent, like little.
Does your dog see itself in the mirror? Because my dogs look past the mirror.
I don't have enough mirrors at that level. She's so small.
Well,
but she watches TV with us.
Yeah, see, my dogs never really paid attention to TV. Or if they ever saw a mirror image of themselves, they would kind of just look past it and just be like, oh, what the fuck. But some dogs do see, like, they just assume it's another dog, right?
I don't think Mochi would.
But I don't,
pass the test.
No,
she's not very intelligent.
No, of course.
If there's a dog on screen, she'll run behind the TV to see where it went.
Right,
oh, really?
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, I guess that's not too bad. At least he recognizes there's
she's
a dog.
I think I'd want a dog who could watch the TV as well.
It's pretty cute.
I don't know why. I think it's quite nice if you could put something like with other dogs on it and they can react to it. That'd be quite nice.
Yeah.
My lizards will react to insects on a screen.
Nice.
Okay.
So like, so you literally like, those like bug scrawly games. Yeah. You get one of those out and put it in front of them, I'll just be like.
I think I've seen a video of that before of where they like what is it Fruit Ninja, is it? I can't remember. It's Fruit Ninja or something. I know a cat was reacting to it and like tapping an iPad. Yeah. Because it saw these things coming at it.
You can literally draw an insect and a lot of cats will like try and stamp on it.
I saw that. Yeah. But the funny thing is, like, my lizards after a while will be like, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Yeah. Like, as in, so like after a few attempts where they don't get any food from it, they're just like,
they've learned.
I don't like this, and they'll just like walk off. Same with if I'm feeding. So sometimes I feed them with tongs, like get a little like mealworm on the end of it, put it there. If they miss it a couple of times, because when they go for a strike, they can't actually really see very well. Like they sort of like they line it up, and they're like, okay, trajectory looks good. Ow.
Yeah.
And they'll miss it a couple of times.
Well, their eyes closed as a defense mechanism, don't
they? They can.
Or is that snakes?
They will. Well,
because
all sorts of things. Yeah. Like, so sharks do it as well. Like, I think when they go for a bite, like you say, to protect themselves from anything that might happen when they go for a lunge, they probably close their eyes. I know my lizards do. But yeah, like, he'll miss twice or three times and then just be like, don't like this, and then just wander back into his cage.
Maybe it's like an energy expenditure kind of thing. It's
maybe.
Like, well,
No, they've got personalities, Trott, and it's real human emotions.
Well, if you tease a dog with like a treat or something, they'll just get annoyed and then walk away. That's right. If you don't give, I've got a treat for you, and then there's nothing there, they're like, oh, well, fuck you then. Yeah. I'm off.
I'm gonna go piss.
I'm not falling for that again.
Yeah.
Well, until tomorrow.
What you will.
Yeah, it will be a continuous cycle. They'll forget.
Yeah, she forgets.
Great thing about dogs, especially with small brains.
Tiny little
peanut. It's not about size of brain.
Tiny little heads. Well, it depends on how much is being squished against the shell of their skull.
It's just barely holding on in there.
Yeah.
Would you say that Mochi's eyes are the same size as a brain?
Combined? Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know how much is rattling off in there.
It's like Homer Simpson's brain. There's a nice layer of fat on the inside and then a tiny little brain.
Pea brain. It's protected though.
Yeah. That's it.
I don't know. I don't know what size my dog's brain is, but that sounds of a good video to me.
To find out. Let's take it to a CAT scan.
Did I show you guys the video of the large praying mantis that we found? I think I did, right?
Briefly, yeah, you did.
Yeah.
So scurrying
praying
across the floor.
Mantises are weird, man. They're creepy little.
I didn't realize they got that big. I thought praying mantises were all about this size. Yeah. The ones in Kenya are about 6 inches long.
Oh fuck!
Very large. And quite scary. One of them turned around and went like "Mah" to me when I was trying to get out of my room.
Do they bite humans? Like, would they just
really, no.
Like go for you, or would they just fuck off?
I don't
pretty
think
cool.
So. Yeah, I don't think
they could tear the head off a wasp, couldn't they?
Yeah.
I think I've seen a bug fight.
They're vicious. In the insect community.
Yeah.
I've heard they're up there.
You see there were these giant spiders in the trees that are about the size of a man's hand.
Wow.
Like loads of them. Just
what kind of spiders are they?
Don't know, but they're
like huntsmen. No, not huntsmen. Are they huntsmen? Which is the really big fuckers?
huntsmen are the ones in
Aren't
Australia
actually
that aren't
poisonous, but
venomous.
they're just so big. Oh, venomous. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, or they have very mild venom that's only designed for killing things. But yeah, no, that sort of thing, that sort of size, and that sort of.
And they were just hanging out in the trees. And
loads of them, like webs everywhere along the high trees, and in the even in like the sky almost. So they so you'd look up and it would just be blue sky, and then in the middle there'd just be
like
this
between
big old
tree
spider. Yeah, they
canopies.
could like make giant. Pretty. If you don't like spiders,
I feel like I've had a nightmare like that before.
yeah, dude. When we
Spiders
realized they were
everywhere.
up there, we were like, "Holy shit!
They
Look
could
at
just
this!"
fall on
Yeah.
you any moment.
Yeah, crazy. But
So you feel something back.
Yeah.
I mean, God, I wouldn't want that. I woke up in the middle of the night and there was a gigantic, like green cricket in my room, climbing up the bug net. I had to get out with a towel, again about 6 inches
You
long.
had to physically fight him. He was human sized.
Yeah. Okay, you son of a bitch.
I'm winning this room back. It's mine, you son of a
I'm
bitch.
paying to stay here. But yeah, like he was big enough that I couldn't sleep because he was like going meh around the room and stuff,
right,
and like
yeah.
you know. So I had to like pick the fuck up with a towel.
But they were loud. Just a regular fly is annoying to me. That
Yeah.
would probably be just really.
These things with like 4-inch wings, literally like that.
Yeah.
So I chucked him outside, but as I opened the door to the outside, because I was on the ground floor of this like this villa thing we were staying in, I opened the door and a bloody lizard just falls on my head. Like it's just nuts. Like how much like life is out
Just-
there.
yeah, yeah.
There's like they have loads of these little geckos that are all over the place. Like one was hiding behind my mirror when I was brushing my teeth, so I like moved the mirror and it just dropped into the sink. I'm like if I didn't like lizards, I would have had a problem
Yeah.
because the amount of times I'd open the door and just be like, what was that? It's just like
scurrying.
bloody little lizards everywhere. Like and the monkeys broke into our kitchen and stole our bananas. That was another one. Yeah.
Holy shit.
So
Amazing.
we left the windows open. Like there's just wooden windows because like nobody uses like there's no double
Such
glazing.
a stereotypical thing to go for the bananas as well.
I know. And so we bought some bananas.
Not even the cereal, nothing. Just
So the kind of bananas we have are quite hard to come by, the longer ones. There are all these little like finger bananas
Right.
out there. So yeah, we had some of those in the kitchen. We'd just come back from the market and we were like by a swimming pool looking through the kitchen. And it was just like, there's 2 monkeys running around in our kitchen. And they're just like, and so like the maid or the cleaner or whatever saw it. Sorry, it's about your trackpad.
Nice.
The cleaner saw it. She was like, yeah! And the monkey's just like, fucking leg it! And like one of them jumps out the window with like a bottle of oil, right? Like,
really?
like
Just-
cooking oil. The other's just got the bananas, and they're like, get out of here! They just run out the window.
Been
again.
rumbled.
But,
Get
like,
out.
They're so mischievous. Like,
Oh my
you
god!
know, like,
I mean, I know we don't want to talk about it, but because of current events.
Oh, yeah.
In Thailand, do you see how many monkeys were around because tourists
Now
aren't
there's
really
different
around?
gangs of monkeys fighting each other for food.
Yeah, so there was just like the streets were filled with monkeys. in
Oh my
Thailand,
God.
Chasing
fighting each
cars
other.
and
There is
stuff.
a video of it. I don't know if Craig wants to
It's
bring it
insane.
up. I haven't got a link for it specifically.
Shanghai
But, like-
monkeys. Is it Shanghai?
I don't know if it was Shanghai or Thailand.
It
If
might
you
have
just
been
look for Thailand monkeys, but like
Yeah.
honestly, it was quite a spectacle, and I'm imagining there's gonna be a lot of monkeys fighting each other for food because
Yeah,
there's
that's it.
no one feeding them. So here's a little funky
go.
clip if you're watching the video.
Come on, video, you can do it. Oh, there we are.
oh my
There are just
God.
literally
Insane.
there are hordes and
Look how many
hordes
there
of
are.
monkeys running through the streets. There's a couple of cars just avoiding them, and that's the effect of
There's so
less
many.
tourism, not feeding them.
Yeah, because they're
They're just
essentially
hungry.
living off of
Yeah,
like,
just little hungry boys,
that sort of thing.
all desperate for a
Insane.
little morsel.
โอ้ยรถยังต้องจอดให้อ่ะ
It looks pretty epic, but I wouldn't want to be stood near them.
No.
I feel like if you had
They
one
could
tiny,
gang up.
if you were just eating
There's a fight.
oh my god, if you were just eating a pack of crisps or something, you'd be mauled.
He must have had some food.
He must have done, yeah. Fucking hell. It's
Or
got to be
or a
about
baby for them to eat.
There's got to be about 1,000 there, maybe 500.
Yeah, they get
Hard to tell.
They get really
So
There's
desperate.
a lot of them.
The baboons when
Wow.
we were in a safari.
Yeah.
The baboons were they do this thing where you see a few of them because they like migrate across the wilderness or whatever in groups in families, right? And so we'd see a couple of them just across from our campsite and be like, oh, a couple of baboons there, watch out, they'll come and steal all your food. Like again, my friend who was on the safari before, like all the vegetable cooking oil they brought with them, we just turned around and there was just a baboon chugging it, like
Oh, really? Oil?
oil.
Oh,
'Cause
my
it's so
God.
calorific. So
Yeah.
to them it's like, yeah. But like they were like, yeah, watch out, because what will happen is 2 of the baboons will show themselves to distract you. Then from the other side, a group of more baboons will come and they'll steal your shit whilst
That's
you're not
amazing.
looking.
I mean,
like,
the ingenuity.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Fair
good
play.
teamwork.
And they're like, watch out, those 2 could just be distracting us. And I was just like, okay, I'll watch them. And they just started fucking.
Did they?
Literally just.
Really?
It's like, what a distraction.
I know how to distract them best. Quickly.
Humans love this shit.
My God, they're fucking. That would be a pretty accurate. I mean, we could do that.
We
You know, if we want to distract someone while Trott's, mugging
I'll
someone.
sneak in the back.
If we start fucking,
get out with a cooking
I think
oil.
that'll distract a lot of people
Trott's
in
laying
public.
down in the cooking
Shocking.
oil.
Yeah, they're just like, it tastes awful. Actually, it's
Calorific.
not great, but the calories.
Quality colours.
Right, well, we're just like fucking each other to distract. Is it
I'll
worth
share it out.
Share some out. I'll spit it back up later.
Jesus.
Well, there you go.
That's the
Kenya.
future.
Anything else from Kenya that you...
We went to the wedding. That was
all sorts.
yeah.
Oh, the wedding was. Oh God, yeah. So my friend told me a day and a half before the wedding that I was meant to be the best man,
That's fucking nuts.
and I felt like, oh, well, thank you. And at the same time, like, I can't prepare. Like,
Yeah.
I want to be a good person. Anyway, long story short, my friend was marrying a Kenyan woman whose family was still very traditional. So there was a very traditional tribal ceremony where he had to choose his bride. So like 8 different people dressed up in like very bright materials, and then they all put like a thing over their head, and he had to work out who was his bride, and if he got it wrong, there were fines to pay, right? I was apparently part of this, and they were like, come on, best man, you need to come up and like see this stuff with us. And so I come up and I'm like, hello, all right? What's going on? This is a day after I've had absolutely awful diarrhea. So I am feeling like terrible. Like aching insides. The night before I'd had like a fucking fever because of the diarrhea. And anyway, I was like, I'm not going to miss it. I didn't drink the whole wedding, which is probably a good thing, but at the same time, it gives you a certain amount of courage in dealing with these things, which I just simply didn't have. So I go up to this like area, and they're like, okay, right, what we're going to do is the groom has to choose his bride, and if he gets it wrong, he has to pay a fine, and you do too. And I'm like, what?
Jesus.
And they're like, yes, there's a fine. And I'm like, what kind of fine? They're like, oh, I mean, traditionally it's a goat every time he gets it wrong. And I'm like, how much a goat?
But when was the first time you met his wife as well? Was it there?
No, I met his wife 2 days before.
Okay.
His wife is...
But 2 days before. Like, so it was in
Yeah.
like, in terms of
It's
familiarity, you didn't know her that well to
No.
know her height, or like how,
Yeah, she's very small. Like,
Sure.
I knew that. But then
Okay.
again, they pick people who are a similar height to her.
Right, okay.
And also the clothing was quite
They're
baggy.
really trying to, like, they're really
Yeah.
making it hard for you.
Yeah.
Really got to get that fine money.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts. And I was also sort of still in a daze, because I was like, it's only 2 days since I've been there, so there's still a little bit jet lag. It's hot, and I had diarrhea.
Shit, you got yep.
So I was like, okay, I'll do it for my friend.
How much was a goat? Did it work out?
$70 or thereabouts. But it later emerged. So we did it, and like I had no help. I was no help whatsoever. I was like, mate, but he managed to pick the right person. Partly because the last 2 he had to choose between. One of them was a white person, so that's a little bit of a trick. If you ever want to try and tell your wife apart,
Smart.
who's Kenyan. Anyway, that was that, and that was very interesting and crazy. And then I just had to dance like a lunatic, completely sober, needing to shit myself.
Really like
Yeah.
dad.
And then they
dancing.
served the goat that they'd slaughtered,
Oh, the
especially
goat thing,
for
yeah.
it.
So that was that's an unfortunate situation, because you said they slaughtered an extra goat, which
Yeah.
no one actually really got
So
into. 'Cause
they
had
hired the catering.
they had
and
their fill.
goat is very popular in Kenya. It's almost like a national dish. So they had the catering there, and everyone ate goat, and it was fine. I didn't, because I had the shits. So I had a chapati and like some vegetables. But then there was another goat they bought, which is tradition. It's like, oh, you must buy a goat and bring it. And so Jean, who's a vegetarian, my friend who's a vegetarian, and half his family are also vegetarians, bought this goat that was just in their garden, wandering around eating stuff for a while. He's like, oh, hello, mate. Like, just this nice goat.
Oh man.
And then they slaughter it, and it turned up at like the end of the wedding, and just in a bag of meat. They're like, who wants goat? And everyone's like, oh, I'm pretty full on goat. Actually, like 2/3 of the audience were like French or English, and we're all like, we got our fair goat, thanks. It was just a bit like
So
That
wasteful.
goat could still be wandering around. I mean, I
There are
imagine that
so
was
many
the fate of
goats
that
in
goat
Kenya.
anyway, right?
yeah.
But it's just it's a shame that was
But yeah, it's
probably an eye opener for wastage of food in general.
yeah,
Right.
traditions collide.
Yeah.
I guess it was a wedding, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's not often that happens. Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone really cares about goats in Kenya. If I'm honest with you, there are so many.
Like,
of
goat
them.
It's probably
sacrifice for me.
it's probably the same for chickens, like here, like where we just have
Well, I mean, yeah,
many
like
of them.
Yeah.
I went out to like one of our main contacts out there was my friend that I went backpacking with 12 years ago.
Makes it sound like a mission.
Yeah,
The
it kind of-
contact.
I mean,
Who
our
dropped
contact
in.
in Kenya, he did like tours for people that came over to do like little package holiday things. So he knew the area quite well. He's called Justice, good guy,
Wow.
great name,
Justice.
amazing name. But he took us out to see his family, like super remote. This took like 5 hours of driving to get there.
Fucking hell.
No running water, no electricity. So it's like a tea farm in a hut, essentially. And because it's such a huge deal, because his family had never seen white people before, and we are tourists visiting for the first time, they put on a big like song and dance about it, and slaughtered a goat in our honor of arriving. And I was like, I'm not actually that hungry. Honestly.
So you didn't feel honoured? You were just
No.
more just like, well, I'm not in the mood suddenly.
Yeah, I just like
Did you
the
witness it
idea.
actually being slaughtered, or was it more of a
That
case
was
of
my
we
worry.
just
Like
brought
the
it in?
whole time I was there, it's like, is it like part of a ritual? Am I gonna have to witness this?
Do I have to start
And I
saying
was
goat
never really
throats?
told an answer. I was just like, it's okay, don't worry about it. Because my friend didn't really know, Martin didn't really know what was going to happen. And Justice was just laughing the whole time. Just like, you'll wait and
maniacally.
see. And it's
With a
just,
machete in
thankfully,
hand.
it was slaughtered kind of behind the hut kind of thing. But still, just the idea of, that felt real now. That's meat.
That's
I then
responsibility.
invested in eating because it feels like a waste otherwise.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course. If anything, you would be like, well, more likely to want to partake because
That's a very
it's a real waste.
It's a very Kenyan thing, though, of like just be like, don't worry about it. It's
Yeah.
like I'd really feel more comfortable. I had more information on this situation. They're like, no, don't worry about it. You're like,
Yeah, because we were like doing everything day by day, like figuring stuff out as we went. Kenyan time
No
pissed
internet
me
either.
off, no end.
yeah,
They run on Kenyan time, which is like when we feel like turning up,
Oh,
we'll do something.
Yeah.
Justice decided a couple of days in a row when we were like, we're going to do the safari thing tomorrow, right? We're going to 10 a.m. because we need to get to Nairobi in order to meet this guy, to get in his Subaru Jeep, to take us on safari, who we met yesterday in the market. Sweet.
yeah.
Cool. Doesn't turn up for a couple days. He's like, 2 days later, he's like, hey, hey guys.
sake.
Like nothing happened. It's like, what
So
the
what did
hell?
you do for 2 days? Just kind of like go, well, we're
Bumbled about. And we gave the guy with the safari like at the market because it was so dodgy. Like everything we did was like, looking back on it in hindsight, was why do we get ourselves to these situations? Paying a guy up front out in the middle of
man,
Nairobi
yeah,
in a
right.
market saying like, reserve our slot with you,
Yeah.
who isn't an official safari guy as well, just a guy with a Jeep who's done this thing.
Yeah.
You just
It's like,
gave them
I'm
money.
cheaper than
Oh,
the actual
fuck.
tours.
Yeah.
Also ended up getting stopped by corrupt police officers and with AKs and being sandwiched in the back, either side of two guys with AKs, threatening
shit.
to take us to jail
Yeah.
if we don't pay up.
That's the problem. Is the police? You can't trust the police or the army either.
No.
Like, that's the.
That was the
fuck.
scariest part, was the authorities,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is like they were threatening to like throw us in jail if we didn't pay them off
Yeah.
and then look the other way.
Yeah.
Just
So after that experience, did it completely affect your trust in whether you were safe at all? Because if those are the people you're supposed to rely on,
Yeah, well, I
what
mean,
the fuck's going to
there's not
happen
much
when
you-
something goes down?
it's not much you can do.
No.
Like, I'm
Right.
already out there.
Well, that's what I mean. But
and-
like, surely that affected your movements afterwards. As in, like, will we go to this place? Will we do this? Will we?
well, we got the safari thing out of the way.
I'm surprised. Yeah, like paying up
And
front for
that was
something like that
dodgy as fuck. Like, you
really?
like stick to the path, etc. This guy was like, "Do you want to see some leopards?" Drove up to like within 2 meters of leopards, sat down with a
Really?
kill, or not leopard, sorry. No,
Cheetah? Lion?
So
it
they
might
were
have been
feeding?
cheetah. Yeah, they were
Okay.
feeding.
That's probably. Is that not the better time to
Terrible
be nearby,
time.
or is that a terrible time?
They're going to be
'Cause they're-
defending that kill,
Right, okay,
and
yeah.
they were like, "Well, you can get out if you want," and we were like, "Absolutely not. No,
can
that's
pet
a
them.
terrible idea. I'm
Can
not
I go
doing
and touch
that."
one?
And it was just,
Do you want to?
like that, this was dry season as well, so I had such a weird moment, like out in the middle of the safari, like Mount Kilimanjaro in the background, of just being like, this does not feel real.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
the
I can
land
imagine.
looks so strange, and like these tiny little shrubs just like randomly dotted in the ground, like as if they've been put there artificially. Just like, this doesn't feel real. Like
It
it's
is-
so different.
It's
Yeah.
stunning in that. Yeah, absolutely. And that's I would.
Just wildlife everywhere. Things that you just would
Yeah.
never be used
yeah,
to.
it's,
seeing.
it's so
Yeah.
unnatural to us.
Mhm.
Like, you know what a tree and a
Yeah.
flower looks like based on everything you've seen and read, to see something so different in real life is just really surreal.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. But yeah, you basically have to rely on yourself a lot more. Like when I was there, like eventually after the first couple of days of like trying to get my head around it, it's just like just take it a day at a time. Like that's all you can do. Like you say, like you were saying about booking that guy and just hoping he turns up, and then going on the safari and hoping you don't die.
You just have to go with it.
Yeah, and then at the end you're like, sweet, didn't die. Yeah.
My scariest moment wasn't the AKs actually. It was in a Mutatu at night.
Yeah.
So we were stuck in Nairobi traffic at like 7, 8 p.m. When does it get dark over there?
6:30.
Yeah, so it was like 7 p.m. So it was pretty much pitch black, and like chock-a-block in the middle of a city. Cars are like going onto curbs and stuff.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Like they don't have road regulation or traffic lights.
Okay.
And there's
no traffic lights.
Also the roundabouts, you give way to the people coming onto the roundabout. It's like the unspoken rule.
Yeah.
So you don't wait for the roundabout to go and then enter. You just fucking enter it and hope whoever's
hope
on
for
it
the
stops.
best. Hope for the best. Yeah.
The traffic is nuts.
But yeah, I was in like
nuts.
gridlock traffic in a massive like they made a multi-lane situation.
Yeah.
So, and it was pitch black, and I really badly needed a piss. Like I was bursting. I was in a Matatu with my friend at the back, full. It's like a minibus full of people, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to get out and piss somewhere, but I don't know where to go, and most places are closing. And we were just in the middle of traffic, and there was a bank open over there, but it was like a good runaway. And I was like, if traffic starts moving again and I have a piss and it's a big piss and I come back, A, am I going to find it because it's pitch black? I don't have a phone which has a light on it. This was 12 years ago. And B, traffic could have moved on, and I'm going to be roughing it in the middle of Nairobi overnight, which would be a terrible idea.
Oh my god, yeah.
So you're toyed with pissing yourself or running.
For it.
You went for it.
I went for it. Yeah. I ran out and I pissed, and I just ran back, and thankfully my friend was like hanging out the side,
just making sure,
waving at me, and I'm like, there he is. As soon as I got in, the traffic started moving. I'm like,
I would have just pissed out the door. That's the liberty of being able to piss anywhere. Just fucking roll that side door out.
It was just my reserved nature of being.
I can imagine. No, I get it. I can definitely see the stress.
Terrifying. That was terrifying.
Imagine just cracking open the door and then just openly pissing onto nearby next
car.
car.
Imagine how liberating that would be.
If there was no real consequences to it, then yeah, sure.
In Kenya.
If you do it down the road, I think you're going to get several charges against you. You probably get a sex charge against you just for whacking your dick out in public.
Yeah, none of that. You don't have to worry about any of that in Kenya. Okay. That's almost kind of what the appeal is as well, is that the rules are a lot more flexible. Yeah. So like,
with the
better or worse, it works
exactly.
Out,
yeah, like when I was down at the coast, like you get these guys called Buddha men, who are just guys on motorbikes. So they just buy a motorbike, take it down to the coast, and it's 100 shillings to just get somewhere on the coast. So it's like a couple kilometers down the coast. You want to go to this place? Yeah, they're like 100 shillings. 100 shillings is 80p. So like,
nothing.
but the thing is, you're on the back of a bike without a helmet. But it's
the risk is all yours. That 100 shilling is like, the cost of potentially your life.
Well, initially I was like worried about it, and then my friend John and like his wife were like, yeah, just go on, it's great fun, because we were using tuk-tuks before, because they have tuk-tuks there as well, but they are fucking terrible tuk-tuks there. They're really loud and slow and shit and uncomfortable. And so I was like, oh yeah, fuck it, I'll get on the back of it. So I got on the back of this motorbike. Me, this giant guy with this like smaller Kenyan dude, and I had like a bottle of like wine between my legs because we were going back to the villa. It's just like, we're going along, and he's like, make sure you don't get off on the left, because if you get off on the right, there's the exhaust. It's going to burn the shower your legs. So I'm like going along, I'm like, and I'm like, holy shit, this is amazing. And then from then on, I just used these motorbike men to get everywhere. So I went to a snake farm on my own, because none of the guys I was staying with wanted to come to the snake farm. So I went to the snake farm where they had all of the venomous snakes, of which there are many. All of the African venomous snakes there. So I saw spitting cobras, black mambas, green mambas.
When you say farm, is it like a zoo, or is it like
a sanctuary? I guess.
Are they breeding them?
It's a sanctuary and a breeding place. So the idea is that if people in populated areas find a black mamba or something like that, instead of killing it, they ring up these people who will come and collect it and keep it, and they milk the snakes for their venom. That venom is then sent to an anti-venom lab in South Africa.
Oh, for treatments.
And they make the anti-venom and send it back to them, and then they disseminate it for free. So it's a charity.
Great, yeah.
Because the average anti-venom dose for a non-insured Kenyan is 60,000 shillings, which is, so 1,000 shillings is about $10. So
it's like £600.
$600. I mean,
Dollars,
no
yeah.
Kenyan is gonna no like base level Kenyan would be able to afford that. So they give it out for free. So it's really awesome. But yeah, I went there and I just had my own again because it's Kenya. I just went in and there were a couple of the rangers just sat about and I gave them like £8 to get in, and then they just gave me a guided tour of the whole place, just one-on-one, and they got snakes out that I could hold, and I was like holding the snakes and everything like this. And that's kind of just an example of the kind of, you can get a bit closer to things and a bit more access to things than you would over here. But yeah, really cool. Saw like a spitting cobra,
actually like rising up and
spitting at the glass and stuff, because they're wild animals. They're wild caught. Yeah. So like they do release them as well, but they had to release them much further away. So yeah, you know, they go through the sanctuary. They had turtles, tortoises is there as well, and like the odd little bits and stuff. But yeah, really cool. But yeah, just going on the back of a motorbike, and like the guy, one of the first drivers I was on there, he's like, haha, look at you. He goes, you've been in Kenya for a week and now you're riding around on the back of a motorcycle without a helmet on. Like, oh yeah. He was like, Hakuna Matata. I was just like, Christ. yeah. I hope I don't, again, taking it a day at a time. Now, I'm not dead. Call it. I might be dead, I don't know. But, you know, like, oh man, the coast was my favorite bit, definitely, because it was just so chilled out. Like, there's far less risk down there as well, because they're all like, it's all really tribal. So like there was like a coastal tribe, and they're very much like tourism based. So they don't tolerate other people in their tribe robbing and doing that sort of thing, because they're like, you're giving us a bad name. People won't come back. Yeah, I did
feel safer on the coast.
Yeah,
apart from the Beach Boys.
Yeah, where we were, we didn't have many of them.
Yeah,
people just selling you shit.
Yeah, they're very just very forceful.
It's quite a nice name for them. If that's
I don't think
an endearing name.
Or Looky Men is another name, because they say looky. Looky.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
and they
Didn't we
come
have that as well in, wasn't it America, in Vegas, or was that because when they would like give you the thing,
flicking you the cards.
That's what they were saying.
Sort of things. Yeah, same sort of thing.
Well, you're trying to chill out and just like mess about on the beach and stuff, and they come and join in with you. Yeah. And they're very hi, what's going on? Oh, can I throw the ball with you? And then they're like, you should come back with us. We got some stuff to sell. And it's like, no thanks, not interested.
It's very...
Okay, do you mind if I just sit here then with you guys for the next hour or whatever?
Yeah.
And we're like, no.
It's very anti-English.
We don't know you that well.
In that sense. Anti, as in, because we don't like that. That makes us uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know? Also, eye contact's a really big thing there. So, like, people will just look at you. And if you look at them, they'll just look straight back at you. As in, if you're just going along somewhere, or if you're dealing with somebody, like, we break eye contact a lot. Like, it's part of a more, dare I say, reserved nature.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's quite intense holding the stare for a long period of time.
It's like the Always Sunny thing.
Yeah. But that was kind of interesting. Also, like, national parks are quite expensive. So, cost like $70 to get into a national park, and then I went snorkeling on one of the marine reefs.
I wish
and it was
like that.
$20
I did.
just to do it.
That was another scary. I buried that one.
Well, where you stood on that thing?
I stood on the coral.
The urchin that you had to.
I felt like no, that was a different thing.
Wait, the urchin and a coral?
Those are two separate things. So we got taken out on a boat on the coast to go snorkeling. Didn't know that it was in the middle of the ocean, and they were like, "Get out, take the little snorkel thing. Might have a hole in it. Who knows? They're very dodgy things." And you literally go out without like armbands or anything. And like
you're an adult, Trott.
Yeah, but still, like nothing inflatable.
No safety, right?
No flotation. It's just like literally going out to the middle of the ocean. Imagine looking around all around you and it's just open.
Nothing. Yeah,
nothing.
Yeah.
And I got to a point where I was like unable to control my breathing because water kept going in because of the waves.
Right. Yeah.
And so I was breathing through my snorkel and I was sucking in salt water, so I was panicking a little bit.
Fuck, I hate that
and I'm like, fuck, I'm swimming now and I can't get to the surface. I'm heavy. I'm dense. I can't. And I was like thinking of that, and it's like the closest thing I could get to was the coral itself, and it was like really sharp and painful. So I was scratching up my shins and stuff, like getting on it. I finally get some breath, and I get shouted at by guys like, "Get off the coral! Like, you're not supposed to be on the coral." I'm like, yeah, it's endangered. Fuck. Back in the water I go.
It's endangered.
Drowning again.
Lacerating your legs and stuff. It's like fucking hell.
Yeah, so I got lacerated. Fair enough. Shouldn't be on the coral. Drowning. I was like, fuck. And I had to get pulled in. So yeah, buried that one.
Hilarious.
Yeah, it's like really enjoyed my snorkeling.
Hilarious. Sounds.
Anyway, yours sounded much nicer.
Yeah, I saw a grouper. I saw like a grouper fish, like really big boys. Saw the biggest puffer fish I've ever seen in my life. That was about 3 feet long. I didn't know they could even get that big. It was great.
Do they always aren't pufferfish normally not blown up?
Yeah.
Was it?
That's their defense mechanism.
No, it wasn't inflated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's the defense mechanism.
It takes a lot for them to do that.
Yeah,
and that they don't like doing it.
No, but yeah, that was really cool. Very salty, the Indian Ocean. I don't think I would wonder if you remember that. It was extremely.
I'd swallowed a lot.
Does that make him a lot more buoyant?
Makes you more buoyant.
Yeah.
It also means that if you get any in your eyes, it fucking hurts.
Right.
Like more so than the UK, for example.
That's why I was panicking, because I was like swallowing that stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty harsh. I think that's why my lips are quite sore, because
it'll dry you out.
Yeah, it was. We spent a lot of time in the sea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thoroughly recommend Kenya. My parents, I was sending photos to my parents, and they're like, "Oh, I'd love to go." It's like, nah, I don't know. I think like people in their 30s or like early 20s, like you need to be quite responsible and quite able to deal with shit, I think, as well, like to really enjoy it in terms of like
not be so set in your ways that you're
it's not
unable
like a
to be
holiday.
flexible.
Exactly. Do you mean it's not like you just going in there for a little beach holiday?
Yeah,
it's
going to be a bit shocking, but in kind of like I need to be alert and ready for anything.
I wouldn't do it on your own either. Like I definitely think, I mean, ideally for me, I had a local person who's lived there for 4 years helping me, which is perfect. But I think if I was I think it'd be a different story if I went on my own.
I think that's the case with a lot of places though. Like, I mean, not that obviously we would have been fine in Canada anyway, but like having Bradley there
it just
was so much
enhanced the
better
whole thing.
because obviously someone who knows the good places and stuff.
Yeah.
It's nice
So
to
with
have
Kenya, it's more
hooked up
about
the safety
and transport and like like knowing what to use, what not to use,
knowing if that spider's venomous or
exactly.
Yeah,
we went to like one of the best places in Kenya on the first night we were there for food. Well, not one of the best, but a very good place for food. Like very good. We had burgers, and I was like, oh, should I eat a burger on my first night? Is that going to give me the shits? Spoiler, it did.
Nice. Was it rare? Medium rare?
Medium rare.
Oh,
it was delicious. It was amazing.
Fantastic.
It was an absolutely fantastic burger. It was so nice. It had a sweet potato like paste that they'd done with it.
That sounds nice.
So like it's almost like a you know when like people do it with like cauliflower, they make like a paste.
Yeah, you can make a mash, cauliflower mash.
Yeah, that sort of thing. But sweet potato in a beef burger was absolutely fantastic.
Oh, nice.
And then the next day, whoop,
just
pissing out of my
shuddering
ass.
out of you.
Pissing out of my ass. Honestly, like I was laughing at how liquid it was. Like we went for a
That's
place.
not the right hole, surely.
I go in and I'm just like, literally, it was like as liquid as it could possibly be coming out of my ass, like piss coming out of my ass,
Pissing out of his ass.
And like the first day, I was
Fucking
like,
hell.
oh, I get a bad stomach when traveling sometimes, and then like the night set in, and I was just like, oh my god, I feel terrible now. Like,
fuck's sake.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, no one enjoys pissing out their ass.
And then I got it again because
did. Fucking hell,
not
man.
as bad, but I was just like, it's fine now. I've got my immunity. I can eat whatever I want.
Another burger, please.
Another one of your finest burgers, my lord. No, I had something else. I can't remember
I'm
what it was.
guessing you never had tap water, right?
No.
Yeah.
So yeah, we always drank bottled water.
Yeah.
But yeah, holy shit. God damn it. Every time. I mean, you know what I'm like. I get it in the States.
Yeah, you got it in
sometimes.
America. Well, we got
Like,
it in Vegas when we went there first.
Got it in Vegas. I get it like occasionally when we went to Boston. I had it.
Any disruption of your normal
So
calorific
I'm a
intake?
delicate boy. This is a problem.
Surprising, yeah. 'Cause
Delicate flower.
Yeah. You think that you might always build up an immunity?
You'd
or
hope so.
Build up
That's
something.
not how it works, I guess.
No, apparently not.
Anyway,
I do
Kenya.
have. Yeah, that's. I mean, unless you have any more Kenya stories, I have a couple of
No.
funny news ones to end on.
I probably buried all the rest. There's probably some horrible stuff happened to me.
No, this one isn't necessarily funny.
Nearly
It's
drowned.
kind of very interesting though.
Okay.
Woman pees alcohol despite not drinking alcohol. She can literally process
Ferment alcohol in her body.
the sugars in her body create alcohol.
Wow.
Which so a woman has been diagnosed with a never before seen condition after doctors discovered she was urinating alcohol without drinking a single drop.
Shot.
Yeah, shot. Oh,
All right, guys, gather around.
yeah. I feel like that might change things. She's 61, so I don't think she's going to be the party animal pissing in people's mouths somehow. So she's the first person in the world to be diagnosed with urinary autobrewery syndrome.
That's an amazing
Caused
name.
by yeast in her bladder that ferments sugar in her urine to produce alcohol.
Wow.
Holy fucking shit. And I feel instantly, surely some company's going to try and market this and be like, we've made the first fucking drink with a fucking piss.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like
it
some
wouldn't
weird,
surprise me.
weird like,
It would not surprise
Monster
me.
or fucking Red Bull would just be like, oh, Jesus.
She
At
may have
first,
been-
medics suspect she may have been hiding an alcohol addiction when urine tests for the drug were repeatedly positive.
But it was past the point where she was sober, or is it, if she had any alcohol in her system, it would have been gone by now.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I wonder if they're going to find a way to reverse
She
engineer
has
that.
diabetes and liver cirrhosis, which is usually caused by alcoholism. So
fuck. So
it's just she's
just
consuming a lot
her
of
body's
sugar.
almost poisoning itself. Is it by making the alcohol? I don't know.
Well, it's happening in her bladder, so
Yeah.
it might not be poisoning her because that's already past the process into the body stage.
Yeah.
But it just means that she probably needs some sort of antibiotics, I guess, to get rid of the yeast.
It goes into a lot of detail about how, but like you don't need to know that.
Don't
You
need to
just
know
need to know
that.
that it's kind of fucking crazy. That's like the first of its kind.
Thanks, Metro.
Probably
Always
fucking stinks as well.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Pure
I
alcohol.
don't think anyone would be going, shots.
No,
just put it through a sieve.
Yeah, just filter it a little
like
bit.
or a colander. Why bother with
Colander.
it?
Yeah, just a colander. Big enough holes. Big enough holes,
quicker.
better.
It filters quicker, doesn't it?
Filters way quicker.
So apparently,
Oh, there's a broccoli in the bottom of it.
oh god, we'll spice it up. Veggies are good for
So
you.
gross. But shots are shots, you know.
Shots are free booze is free booze.
Free booze.
Would you be surprised to learn that Exploding Hammer Festival leaves 43 injured in Mexico?
You're kidding.
Exploding Hammer Festival.
They're usually so safe.
And there's a
well, it's that. Yeah, I've seen this before.
Where they basically
Metro again
have a mix of sulfur and chlorate to the ends of sledgehammers, and they smash the hammers against rail beams, which explodes and sends up massive clouds of smoke. And I don't know if the festival's just for this. I think it is.
I mean, we
but
have
it's hurt 43 people, so
like with people rolling down hills. So
that's true. It's a very bizarre thing, but I mean, I almost want to try that.
It's literally an impact explosive. So that's a similar thing to.
Is that something that surely can they just get hold of that stuff?
We could make that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we?
No.
We make our own hammer festival.
No, we could.
But we will.
We'll have our own hammer
watch
festival.
this space.
With
We will
just
have
get
a
those little
hammer
tiny,
festival.
like
those
guns with the little paper
cap guns.
Cap
guns.
Yeah.
Just
a giant pad of that.
A whole pad of that on the end of a hammer. Yeah.
Holy fucking shit! But that looks like a fun festival to attend.
Doesn't it?
The other thing that caught my eye was this article, which was on the A646. Somebody thought there was a dead leopard.
Yeah,
now there's a picture of what looks like leopard print, obviously.
I saw this.
And it turns out
Didn't
to be.
we talk about this?
I feel like maybe we did.
I don't think we did.
I think either I
maybe
mentioned
in a
it to
stream.
You, maybe. But the wording of the person who found it said it just ended up being some tart's coat.
Does look a lot like a dead leopard.
It does look like a dead leopard.
Because it's
the belt looks.
It was a costume.
Oh, it was.
It's a costume.
I'll read further. Sorry, it was.
It's literally a leopard costume. That's why it looks like a leopard.
So yeah, fears. There are no dead leopards on UK roads. Don't worry about that. So if you're coming across them, they're probably some tart's coat.
Oh, it's just some tart's coat, isn't it?
Tart's coat. Don't worry about it. But yeah, that's probably other news stories and stuff. But fuck it, I think that's good for today.
It's been a nice Kenya theme.
Yeah. Can you believe it?
So thank you for waiting for this hat chat.
Yeah.
Appreciate that we've been busy and away, but also you might have to wait again.
Yeah, potentially. We're trying to figure out
unless we can do
other means, because everyone is recommended to self-isolate or keep themselves safe away from others.
We do the carriers and keep everybody safe. So we're taking proactive measures. So which means in 2 weeks' time we might not have a hat chat, or it might be in a different format. We don't know yet.
Definitely have to stop spitting in each other's mouths, which apparently is a big deal. I didn't realize that.
I know, is it?
Yeah.
We're gonna have to wean ourselves off at least.
Don't tell me we can't piss in each other's ears.
Oh,
I can't stop that.
I think we could piss.
Where will I piss now?
Could we piss? I don't know. I don't think so.
Could neutralise it. Who knows?
I feel like we probably shouldn't share any bodily fluids. Wow. Annoying, isn't it?
Let's cross that bridge when we come to it.
Government has told us.
But yeah,
not
otherwise,
to.
I think just we've got to wash our hands. Be safe. Be safe out there. Don't sneeze on people. Don't be fucking stupid. Basically,
don't touch your face, which we all did. This hat.
I've done it too. I'm conscious of it. Though I'm like, I got an itch. Then you got to kind of.
No, you just did it.
I've just done it again. So yeah.
Gonna be back in after this.
Apparently, like people touch their face 3,000 times in a day, and I learnt that from a fucking film. So I don't know if that's true.
3,000.
Again, I watched Contagion last night. I don't know why I did it.
That's
to myself.
a lot.
3,000 is a lot. I could believe 300.
So 3,000
That's
divided by
Kate
24.
Winslet's character in the film.
Let's calculate this.
Says this.
Touch per minute.
Touch per minute. Well, how many times do we touch?
I'm going to have to figure this out before we wrap up. Sorry, everybody.
We have to figure this out.
2 times a second.
Okay, 16. You probably touch your face 16
minute.
times an hour is what this one says. Maybe the film was exaggerating.
384.
Why wouldn't it? But yeah, don't touch your face as much as
I'll
we
just
did.
interject here that chat has been monitoring Smith touching his face throughout the
I know. You were rubbing your nose. Obviously, you were
You've
showing
probably done 3,000 this episode, to be honest.
Probably. I mean, who knows? Either way, you got to wash your hands. I mean, if you washed your hands, you're probably all right. But then you
Yeah.
touched your phone, and your phone's always got some
carrying
shit on it.
everything.
So just be careful.
It's like, well, you know, like you saw in what's that film you watched last night?
Contagion. It's
God,
called
you're watching
it's
it
literally
right
called
now.
Contagion. It's a really good film, and
It's a good film.
Watching it also highlights a lot of the kind of things we're seeing in the news, but it's dealt with a lot better.
But it's like
in
touching a
some ways.
doorknob that thousands of other people have touched, and then you touch your phone,
And
but then you
that's-
wash your hands, but it's still on your phone.
Yeah, exactly. So you can
That kind of
wipe your
thing.
phone out. Apparently, you can use just
Soapy
soap
water.
and water is fine.
Yeah.
I think
Soap.
and water.
I get a big
Soap.
bucket of soapy water and just dunk it in.
If you've got, I think
Scrub it
I
with
think
a
you
metal.
should fucking on the screen.
Yeah.
I
You
sleep
only
in
just
my-
had your
I
screen
sleep in my
replaced.
bath. Sleep in my bath full of soap,
Just yeah.
Bit of bleach too. Maybe kill it.
like a precog.
But there was that really cool video of somebody doing an example
But the balls
with
come out your butt. The
with
wooden balls.
oil in a bowl, like vegetable oil in a bowl, pepper in it, and then she covered her hand in soap, and then put her finger in, and all the bits of pepper just separate away because they did like it. Just it's a really good way to get rid of.
So the reason that works is because soap is a
the fatty.
detergent which breaks down the links between fats.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. So for example, when a boat spills like fuel or something in the water, chuck a bit of fairy on it and it'll break it down. I mean, it's not
Are they
ideal,
just
but like,
demonstrating the effect of
yeah, it's
soapy?
detergents effects on oils.
Mm.
So oils and detergents. That's
Yeah.
what that is. But
That's
yeah,
what
So yeah,
kills
soap and water, guys.
soapy water.
That's the key.
it displaces.
And sing Pleasure Off while you do it.
Mhm.
Yeah, sing Pleasure Elf. Sing one of any of our songs. Why not?
I was walking down the street
street.
with a smile on my face.
I mean,
some shit
if
in
anything,
my teeth.
from this entire crisis, everyone's going to learn to wash their hands better, and that's good for the future, right?
Yeah,
generations
sure.
from now, I'll be like, "Why are you so thorough with your hand washing?" It's like you weren't there.
You weren't
man.
there, man. You fucking
You
asshole.
weren't there.
And now neither are 800,000
Nah, let's be honest.
people.
We'll all fucking forget, and it's all going to happen again.
Probably.
But right now, let's deal with it and
Indeed.
move on.
But yeah,
So-
stay tuned for our next Hat Chat, and follow us on hat_films for updates on that.
Any updates, on our Twitch stuff, YouTube stuff is all there. So follow
I can't thank our patrons enough for supporting
Yeah.
us when we haven't even been putting stuff out.
that.
So
Yeah, definitely.
that you will
It's
be
really
credited
helpful.
at the end of the video, which is available on our youtube.com/hatchat podcast. Just search for Hat Chat on YouTube, you'll find it. And we'll be leaving you now with those credits and the beautiful Fingal by Matthias.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Good day. Be safe.
See you on Monday.
Bye.